All right. Let's wait for at least one person to show up. Probably share it around.
What the hell did this do?
Hey, we got a viewer.
Who is it?
I do not know. Oh, Josh Smith, dude, what's up? Kenwood. Check this out. Hey, Josh Smith, want to share the hell out of this so we can get this thing rolling? Two viewers. What's going on? What is up?
Three people.
Four people. They're trickling in.
I like bigger on camera. Thanks, dude. Jesus, been working out.
Going to 5.
Like bigger on camera. Thanks, dude. Jeez. Oops.
Turn that off. What's going on, everybody? How are we doing tonight on this about to be stormy Massachusetts evening? All right, we got 6 heads, so I'm just going to roll into it. All right, guys, welcome to the breakdown. Just a fishing podcast where we just talk about whatever, especially in the Northeast mainly. How do you like that intro, Ken?
It works.
Cool. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kenwood. If you haven't seen or heard his name, I'm sure you've seen a GIF that he's posted somewhere on the internet. He is the godfather, the Ken father of Massachusetts kayak bassin. He's also a Northeast original gangster. He's been one of the OG heads in the Northeast for some time. Ken, how you doing?
Hey, man. What's up? Thanks for coming on my show.
So, Ken, we know each other pretty well already, so we don't have to do all the normal, hey, how'd you get into fishing? You've been fishing for a while. How'd you get into a kayak? Instead of talking about the past, let's talk about the future.
Okay.
As it stands right now, EKF, the numbers are great. Things are going good. Where do you see EKF going for the future?
Well, I don't know. We could do a lot of things. We're not trying to expand or anything too crazy, too quickly. Take it slow. I think we might add another date next year. Maybe not. I don't know. We're talking about it, but yeah, I don't know. It's just right now we're just going to focus on the region and make it a strong regional trail. And if we have opportunities to go bigger than that, then we will. But for right now, it's just it's going to be Northeast that we're going to focus on.
I mean, you guys are already doing a killer job. The tournaments that I've been to have been some of the best run stuff going on. So hats off to all of you guys are doing it. Jason Gardner, Matt Charette. Am I missing anybody?
No, that's it.
Also, Three Bells. Three Bells has been really showing out. They're not a sponsor of mine. They're a sponsor of Ken's, but they're really supporting this trail. They're there at every tournament, and then they have giveaways. They're donating. They're just setting up. They're really sticking it out for the Northeast with kayaking. So a lot of respect goes out to them.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been awesome. They've been awesome all around to us as the guys that are on the team, and then just especially for the trail. As a sponsor for the trail, showing up, and they set up, like Lauren is, she sets up the table and all that stuff, and gets the awards ready for us, so we can fish, because we also fish the events. So they've been awesome.
Yeah, nothing
taking
but
photos.
Things. Yeah.
Taking photos of the anglers and stuff. Obviously I'm on the team, but at the Hobie event on Champlain, Derek followed me around on day one and took took a bunch of photos of me, so finally I'm going to have some good photos, because I've been making jokes for years, or maybe not years, but for a long time, about how nobody takes good photos of me out on the water. So,
I mean, I've tried, but you're a picky cat to please. But it is what it is.
no. Yeah, I took an awesome photo of you riding a wave, and then you took a picture of me like eating a cookie.
What about our catfish photo shoot? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Cool. So you are part of EKF. That's been your second gig, but your first gig is you basically, and hats off to you, man. You don't, a lot of the Massachusetts Kayak Bassin as a whole really, really appreciates, and I don't think you know how much we appreciate everything you do for the club, but you just about do every damn thing. How's that going this year?
It's going. I've been dealing with some personal stuff for, God, it's going on 3 years now with my dad and everything, and it's starting to get to me. This year has been tougher than normal, especially with a second trail, our second division this year and everything, and then we got the knockout series, and then I started we're doing monthly online events now, and then we got the brawls and all that stuff. So it's been some work, but it kind of,
not only that, is you spread yourself thin, man. You take a look at the schedule ahead of the season, and then you basically plot out everything. And I remember you showing me, and what you've done is you try to do everything you possibly can, which is insane.
Yeah. I've always done that, though, and it's like I just kind of hate sitting around. I don't know if it's like bipolar disorder or something that I have, but I just hate sitting still. I can't watch. I can't sit and watch a movie. I don't read as much as I used to. I used to read a ton, but I don't know if something happened where it's just I always have to be doing something. So that's what I do.
Yeah, I mean,
but then you add in like a family issue with your father getting sick and all that stuff, and then that kind of in order for those things to work out, you can't have any anybody throwing any wrenches in the spokes, so to speak.
Right, but anybody not then you go to these tournaments, you travel to these deals, and then it's a weather wrench. You know what I'm saying? It's never smooth sailing. Right,
of course.
Which I want to get into Champlain. I didn't even know you were going there for the Hobie BOS. We haven't talked about it. No idea how it went for you or anybody else. I haven't been, online checking the forums very much lately, but tell me how it went, man, because from what I've heard, that wind was howling.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I've been on Champlain. I've never been on it in a kayak before, but I've been on it in bass boats. I fished a Bass Nation tournament as a non-boater a couple of years back, and I mean, I thought I was going to die. I don't know. I can't remember what the wind was blowing, but I know that there were some giant waves out there. And the guy I was with on the second day when it was windy, I mean, he didn't know what he was doing in the waves, and we were spearing every single one. It was coming over the bow, and I mean, at one point we had like 2 feet of water inside the boat. It wasn't draining, and I'm down there, like his whole drain in the bottom of his boat was clogged with dirt and like soft plastics, and so I'm down there with a screwdriver. I'm unscrewing it, and I'm cleaning it all out, so the water could get in and the build system could kick in, and then we're bailing out and everything. I mean, it was just nuts. And then he had us out there in like we're in 25 feet of water. I mean, there's like 4 or 5 foot swells. And he's drop shotting, and it was insane. I remember I tell this story. It's like I turned around at one point when we were on I don't know what they call it, like the trough of the wave or whatever. And I turned around and there was a wave that was eye level with me. And I mean, I almost crapped my pants. But then, the boat went up and everything, and it was all good, but man, it was scary. So going into this event, I knew that the, predictions of, 20-mile winds or 20-mile gusts, whatever it was, coming from the south was going to be bad, especially when we're fishing on the New York side, which is it's more open. There's less coves and windbreaks and all that stuff. So I knew it was going to be bad, and I think it was Friday. I wanted to fish King Bay, and I think it was Friday I went there, and I didn't even go out into the bay. There's some reeds. You launch into Chazy River, the Great Chazy River, whatever it's called, and you go out, and it's barely when the bay opens up, and I was like, screw that, man. I'm not even. There's no way. And that was Friday, and I think it's Saturday was going to be worse. But then it turned out I think Saturday was actually not as bad as predicted, and then Sunday was like they were off by like a day. Like Sunday was what Saturday was supposed to be, so Sunday was even worse, at least where I was. So, I mean, I didn't do well pre-fishing. I fished that area, the river. I fished the river that day, the Chazy River. Didn't get a single bite. Then I drove all the way south, which was 107 miles, which is absurd. Went down to South Bay area. So yeah, I mean, driving between spots was crazy because it's all back roads and everything. So yeah, 107 miles took me, an hour and 40 something minutes. And I went down to this little, creek area. And it's my kind of stuff that I like to fish, but I wasn't feeling it. So, where did I pre-fish day one? I have no idea. Oh, I went to Crown Point, a spot that looked really good. And it turns out I didn't think I'd ever fished there before, but I recognized it. So obviously I'd been there in a bass boat tournament at some point. But, I caught fish there. I put up, maybe 80 something inches or close to it or something, but I just wasn't feeling it. That was Thursday. And the other stuff I did on Friday. So Saturday, I was going to go all the way down to South Bay and just try to frog fish and stuff. But I didn't like it was going to be cloudy, and I didn't think that the frog bite would be on. Apparently it was apparently on Friday. People did well doing that. So I just did what I do too often. And I picked a spot that looked like it was out of the wind. I kept driving by it, drove by it multiple times, and I'm like, that doesn't look that bad. It was just the way it was the bay. It was a big bay. It was just the way it was angled. It had a little bit more of a windbreak. And so yeah, I went there, and it was actually pretty calm in the bay. And I went there on Saturday. No pre-fishing. Had a lot more weeds than I expected. It drops off real quick though. It drops down to like 140 something feet, not very far offshore, a quarter mile if that. So I didn't know what to expect, but there were a lot of weeds there. There were some docks and everything, some rocks and all that stuff, some ledges, and I did pretty good. I put up 87 inches. So I was in 15th place after day one, which isn't bad. Not in a position to win it, but a good chance of making some money. So I went back there on Sunday. I thought about going south again because it was going to be sunnier, but I said screw it. I went back there, and it just it didn't work out because I don't know what happened to the fish, but they weren't there. A lot of small fish. The bigger fish were gone. I caught like a 20 and a half on Saturday on a dock or a raft that was out there, and I thought that with the sun they would move in and they'd get under the docks and everything like that, but it didn't happen. And I don't know why. I guess maybe when you have 140 feet of water close by, it's probably a better option to get out of the heat than going into the docks. They just go deeper. So, but I couldn't find them, so I ended up, I don't know what I ended up, 20 something, what did it say on Tourney X, 21st?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was 21st. It had a TH. I don't know why. So 21st place. It's the first time I've ever placed 21st. So
I don't think too many people have ever placed 21st.
No. So yeah, I don't know why it says that, but it's weird. But yeah, I think it was 21st. Yeah, which isn't bad. You know what I mean? But again, I'm not going for points in the Hobie things. That's the only event that I'm fishing. So it doesn't do me any good.
Yeah,
so if I was going for points, that wouldn't have been too bad, I guess.
It's tough when you make a shotgun play like you typically do. And then it just cross your fingers for fish to be there 2 days in a row, man. It sucks. Right. I mean, but also big bodies of water like that, right? They're gigantic. So fish move in and out all the time, especially with such a changing weather like you guys had to deal with.
Yeah, I don't know. I caught a fish toward the end of the day. God, it was like 23 feet of water on a spinnerbait, I didn't realize I was casting in the 23 feet of water. So there was something there. If I was a better deep water angler, I probably could have figured something out. But, I like shallow, so I probably spent too much time fishing the shallow stuff. Probably should have gone deeper because there were tons. It was a ton of fish out deep. You know what I mean? But I was throwing drop shot and all that stuff. I just couldn't get them to bite, so I don't know what they were. But
now I saw that the first place I haven't looked into it too much, but it looked like he was fishing an ankle deeper.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw some of that stuff. He was way up north apparently, and I think the story is he flipped. I don't know if he flipped. I don't think he flipped tournament day. I think he flipped practicing, but he got all his stuff back. So I mean, it definitely couldn't have been that deep if he got all his rods and all that stuff back. But yeah,
he was also in a sit-in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you look at, I think it's like one of those Titan sit-ins.
Jeez, yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I mean, there's some big fish up there. Like that's what King Bay is, or the spot that I wanted to fish. But I mean, you'd have to go out. There's some rock piles, like it's probably at least 1.5 miles, 2 miles out, maybe. So it was dangerous, And I'm in the big rig, but I was like, screw that, I don't think I could have flipped, but I just didn't want to deal with that all day long, especially pedaling. Pedaling, it's probably easier to than to maintain position pedaling than in the E-Flex drive or the Flex E. But it just would have been a pain. It would have been nonstop. So I don't know how guys do it. I don't have the balls, I guess.
I'm not too familiar with Champlain. I've never fished it. But ankle deep water, Drew Gregory was also in ankle deep water as well.
Really? Yeah, I don't know where they were fishing. Yeah, I know most of the spots that I know, unfortunately, were on the Vermont side and way too far away. Like I know some guys crossed over, but, I think probably they crossed over and they didn't go way over to the Vermont side. They went to into Vermont, which is different. Like all my stuff is like launching on Vermont side, that sort of stuff. So way too far away for me to go. So it kind of sucked, but it was all right. I wish I'd done better on Sunday.
So with EKF, we're allowed to launch on the Vermont side as well.
Yeah, and I think we've decided we're gonna split the lake. We haven't made it official yet, but I'm pretty positive, and I don't think it's a problem me saying it. I think we're gonna do basically for our championship, for the EKF championship, it's gonna be Champlain North. It's gonna be like. I think it's the is it Eau Claire or something like that? Some river in basically Mallett's Bay on the Vermont side, straight across north of all of that. And that's just because of all the driving that we had to do and just how crazy it was. Like if somebody wanted to fish South Bay, and we've got our, I don't know where our headquarters is, but it's up there. It's up north, and it's just it's not something we want to do to the guys. We want everybody to come to the awards and support the other anglers and all that stuff. And, just having somebody have to drive 2+ hours to get to the awards, they're not going to do it. You know what I mean? So I think we're going to do it like that. And then next year we'll do the opposite. The championship, we'll do it. We'll go back to Champlain. That's what we're talking about now. And then we'll do south of that. So what the southern border will be this year will be the northern border next year. So, should work out all right. Two different kinds of the northern stuff is a lot of smallie fishing, and then the south is largemouth. They say anyway. There's largemouth and smallies all over the place. But people who like to fish for largemouth will go down to Ticonderoga, South Bay, that sort of stuff. So we'll do that in 2022.
That's pretty badass. I definitely.
But that's unofficial. That's unofficial, but yeah, I think that we've pretty much decided. So, my bad if I jumped the gun, but I don't think I have.
Beans, can you spill about the next season for EKF?
We're gonna do different lakes. I'm not gonna say where because we've got a list, but we haven't made anything official. But we're not going too far. Yeah, nothing in Massachusetts. I think Jason was suggested the Nashua River based on what Bruce put up, but I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I don't. He didn't know that. I suggested maybe the Nashua River in New Hampshire on the New Hampshire side because I heard it's like a great smallmouth fishery. But I don't know a whole lot about it, but definitely not down in Massachusetts. I don't
No,
think
no,
it's
no. Bruce,
it's
Bruce
not
caught.
big enough. It was a
This
fluke.
is a spot. This is a spot
Yeah.
that he.
Right.
I don't know. I wouldn't take the. It's not. I don't know if it's a fluke, but
Well, I mean, it's you're not gonna go there every time and put up 102 inches. I mean,
No.
come on, it's
No.
Massachusetts, So I mean, we've been there twice now, and I think that besides that, what do we got 80 inches, But I don't even think there's enough water. To be honest with you, I haven't fished it enough, but you do street view and everything like that, looking at other launches and areas, and there's a lot of shallow water. There's some rapids and stuff, so I don't think it's big enough.
I honestly wouldn't even care if we didn't even touch Massachusetts.
Yeah, I would love to get, and I know, I don't know if this would ever be possible, but I would love to do something on Quabbin if we could get them to, because they do that whole they disinfect or whatever they call it with the bass boats. I think you go in on a Wednesday night, they sanitize it and all that stuff, and then they put a wrap on the, secure it to the trailer somehow, and then you go fishing whenever you go fishing, and if as long as that seal isn't broken, you can take your bass boat out there. So if they could do that for kayaks, man, I mean, God, that would be amazing to get a bunch of kayakers out there and do a tournament someday. But they would be, people wouldn't be able to pre-fish unless they went out and rented their little sit-in kayaks and their V-hulls or whatever they got up there. So it'd be different. I don't know.
That would be. I don't know if that's tough, because if you're traveling for a tournament, you got to pre-fish. I mean,
yeah.
I would love to do that, because I would love to fish not quabbog. I'm sorry,
Quabbin. Yeah.
Quabbin. In a tournament, because of the size and the multitude of fish in there and the pressure. Yeah, there is no pressure.
Guys catching 7-pound smallies offshore constantly. It's crazy.
Man, I don't know. What other bodies of water? Spill the beans. Tell me where you're going to fish for EKF, or just throw some names out there.
No, I can't. I mean, obviously we're probably going to go to New York again. We'll do as of right now,
George.
We're looking, Lake George is always an option. I don't know if we'll go to Pennsylvania,
Well, I'm sure, you got Oneida.
Maine, we'll probably do Maine again, New Hampshire. I don't know if Snow Pond is, still going to be on board, but we hope so. And then if we do that, we'll do, I don't think we'll do Messalonsky again. We'll do like China Lake or something,
Cool,
something different. It's right there. It's right there. You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll change it up a little bit, but I think Maine's on the list, New Hampshire, New York, and then somewhere else.
I got some stuff up your sleeve.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it, man.
It's way too soon. We'll announce it. We'll try to finalize it soon, but I don't want to jump the gun on anything.
So how about Wallen Paw Pack? Are you looking forward to that one? I heard it's going to be tough. I heard that locals say that if you catch 5 fish, you have a good shot of being in the money.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard all kinds of different things. I've heard that it's tough. I've heard that the obviously the boat traffic's an issue, but that's just something we have to deal with. There's so many lakes that are just like that, so we just have to be careful with that. But I don't know. I've seen there's some guys out there that say there's some big fish, to be caught. So I don't know. I mean, I just have to get down there and see what happens.
I'm excited for it. I mean, there has to be good fish in there. I mean, look at it's a reservoir. Yeah. So it's massive.
Yeah, it's big. I mean, deep water, shallow. I mean, it's got everything. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be tough, but maybe not. We'll see.
Even if it is tough, it's probably going to be fun. I mean, regardless,
win.
Figuring that stuff out is sometimes the funnest part. So, like, you're not catching a lot of fish, but you figured out where to catch fish, and then you get 5 bites and you capitalize on them. And then
even if everybody catches a bunch of little ones, I mean, it's again, somebody's going to win with a bunch of little fish,
right?
It's a tournament, so it's like, I don't know. I always find it weird that people, when it comes to tournament fishing, they always want to fish these, amazing bodies of water where there's giant fish, and it's like, that's to me, that's not what a tournament's about. A tournament's about winning whether it's big fish, little fish, whatever. So
I mean,
we'll
even
see.
even the elites do it. I mean, look at the Sabine River. When they go to fish the Sabine, that is a meat grinder, and the elites, they hate going there, but it's always fun to watch because somebody always catches them.
Yeah, I mean
they're not the 10-pounders that they do at Fork or
right.
But
and if you do catch a, I mean it's one of those places, or maybe it's one of those places. We'll see. But if everybody's catching 2-3 pounders, and then that one guy that catches a 4 or a 5, it's huge. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm excited. I'm always excited to fish tournaments. So I've kind of gotten to the point where it's like just fun fishing. It's kind of boring now.
Oh,
so
no, I
weird.
completely agree.
Yeah, you go out and it's like, it's not as fun as it used to be. Because you bring all the equipment. Like I remember when I used to go fun fishing, I'd bring like 2 rods. But now it's like I got 11 rods. I got all the gear, and it's so much work, and it's just I don't know. It's not the same.
It definitely isn't. It's missing that adrenaline rush that you get when you hook into something sizable, and or if the bite is tough, and it's going to be tough, and you catch a limit, and you're like, oh, cool, I get a limit, but it doesn't matter because it's not a tournament.
Right, exactly. That's why it's like if we ever go, I'm always like, you want to do a little side bet?
Always.
It adds that little bit of excitement,
Winner buys lunch.
Yeah, exactly. Right, something to fish for. But, cool.
But typically, if I do that, it's with you or Nate, and I always end up losing against Nate. If we do that, I don't know. It's bizarre.
Nice.
Shout out Nate.
Shout out to Nate.
Cool. So are you staying with Three Bells down there? What are you doing?
No, I asked people, who was going, and nobody responded. So I was like, what the hell? We used to always travel together, and now nobody's traveling this year. So yeah, I'm stuck. Jesus, sounds bad. Yeah, I'm stuck staying with the main guys. Yeah, I got in with Jason, and I don't know who else, but he rented a spot, so.
Nice.
Got it with them.
That's pretty cool. I was supposed to book it today, but I think I'm going to stay on the campground, the Ironwood Point or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that by myself. It's going to be weird by myself. I've never done this type of camping, pre-fishing type deal, but it's going to be interesting.
Don't just stay in our driveway, maybe.
No. I'm gonna do the whole camping thing. I wanna do it. Yeah. I'm gonna set up the tent. Do all that jazz. Cook food. Good. So
I'm sure there'll be other anglers there,
Yeah, definitely. There probably is. I mean, some of the sites are right on the water, and it's cheap living.
Right.
But you don't have that cozy bed to go to. You have a tent.
Yeah.
What about buffets? For those who don't know, when Massachusetts Kayak Bass and travels out of state, we always find the buffets, regardless of how shitty they are. 1 stars, 1 stars in anywhere, and we've been to 5 stars, where it's like crazy buffets.
Usually the worst looking ones are the best. That's the funniest thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, some of them have been terrible, but yeah, the ones that you're like, oh, I don't know about this, they turn out to be pretty damn good.
I'm looking forward to the ones at the casinos in Shreveport. I don't know if you remember that, but I literally ate so much that I couldn't walk.
I think I do remember that. It cost us what was that? $30?
I think it was 38 or something.
Yeah. I want to find like one of those seafood, where you just roll up and you eat like 10 lobster.
That's post-tournament. I'm not doing that. No.
Not gambling like that? Come on.
Dude, last year at Gunnersville, man, it was the first time where I had to flee my kayak in a hurry to find wooded cover to relieve myself.
The first time? Geez, I do that like every other trip. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah. After that day, I bought some dude wipes because I lost a buff that day.
Nice. Yeah, I've been down that road. I did that at Watuppa, man. I almost got caught. It was like down the back. It was like that. It's like a little peninsula that comes out, and there's a path on it. I had no choice, and this house is nearby, so I had to go behind this tree. And when I got back into my kayak, man, it was like that. There was some woman with 2 dogs. I was like, oh my god. like she was walking. So I was that close to getting caught.
That would have been a nightmare. We would have never
Yeah.
been able to fish there again.
No, it's always tough when when you're not in a secluded area. But
which is almost all of Massachusetts.
yeah, sometimes that's what you got to do. I'm sure she's probably seen that. There's a lot of homeless people around there, around that lake, so it's probably not a new thing to the people that live there. Cool. All right, next subject.
Yeah, that was a little rough, but
Yes.
let's talk about your style of fishing, man. Would you call yourself a power fisherman?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm more like I junk fish. I junk fish for like the first 5 or 6 hours of every tournament, unless I figure something out early. But a lot of times it takes me a little bit, and I junk fish. I don't like to, there's a lot of people that'll go and they just hit those, high percentage targets, right? They'll skip over all these docks because they're like, this no fish on docks today. They're fishing, I don't know, wood or whatever it is, pads, the grass, and they'll skip over all this other stuff. And I hate doing that, especially up here in Massachusetts, where it's like, I saw when I did the bass boat tournaments, you would see guys. That's what they would do. They were just zipping around these lakes. We were fishing these tiny lakes, right? And they got that 250 horsepower Merc on the back, and they hit. That's all they do all day. They just go from spot to spot, and they skip so many things. And when we're in a kayak, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to do that. So I will bring a ton of rods. I bring at least 9 rods. Now I've got space on the new kayak. I put more tracks on the back, so I can bring like 12, 13 rods. And I have them rigged for everything. I don't like using one rod for 3 different types of lures and constantly having to change them and retie and all that stuff. So I bring rods for everything. And if I'm passing a patch of grass, I'll flip into it, and then I'll move over to this next dock and I'll skip under the dock, or I'll do whatever, and then I'll go to a lay down and I'll flip into a lay down, and then I'll be throwing the chatterbait along the shore. I don't know, it works for me. And then, if toward the end of the day, I start to kind of narrow it into what is working best, I guess, or, I just become a little bit more focused on a specific technique or pattern or something like that. And I think that's what you guys always say, that I always come back at the end. I think that's why, because at the end I start to kind of focus in on a certain thing, and I start to, I guess, do better. I mean, it'd probably work out better for me if I did that a little bit earlier, but I don't know if I could, man. I think it just takes me that long to figure something out. I don't know. But
when standings go down, it is one of the most terrifying things, at least in MAKB tournaments, because when standings do go down, everybody knows that Kenwood's gonna cull or catch some keepers, and it's awful. 9 out of 10 times, Ken, if you think about it, people will be coming back to the launch and they'd be like, Ken, did you catch any more? Ken, they'll probably go right to you. Ken,
yeah,
did you upgrade? And then you always have that shit-eating grin, like, yeah. And then,
yeah, I've won a lot of tournaments at the literally last minute. I mean, I've won Masalonsky twice now in the last few minutes of the tournament. And I don't know what it is. I mean, it's just, I won the Charles River in like 2 minutes to go. I caught like an 18 off a laydown. I mean, I don't know what it is. I mean, I've tried to fish like that from the beginning, where it's like, I'm just going to throw the chatterbait and jig all day. This combination, and I can't do it. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's just something that works. I don't know. Works for me anyway. So it's like junk fishing, but it's I think it's I don't know. I think when a lot of anglers junk fish, it's because they don't know what they're doing. But to me, it's more calculated, I guess. So.
No, definitely. It's definitely more calculated. You're junk fishing, but with the right equipment, the right patterns, the right colors. It's not just hucking and winding.
It's like no bass left behind. That's my motto. Like I'm trying to. I don't want to skip over. Because I mean, there are times where it's like, you think something's going to happen. You cast in and you pull out a 5-pounder. I'm like, holy crap. Like, you didn't think that you were really going to catch something there. So I think a lot of people are probably just leaving fish, by focusing on one particular thing. They're skipping over a lot of fish,
That happened to me this week. I was fishing a body of water. I was out for a couple hours. Water was super clear, and there was this literally, I don't know, 6 to 8 inches of water, and there was this little patch, just this little patch of grass. Probably, I'm not kidding, about a softball size. And there was I don't know, like moss or algae on the bottom around it. It was still in 6 to 8 water, and I'm looking at it. I'm standing up. I'm looking at it. And I'm like, there's no way there's fish on it. And I get a little closer, and like 2 18s literally roll right off it. I'm like, literally a softball patch of grass. And I'm like, oh my God, they were tight to that. There was nothing else there. Like I said, it was like 6 to 8 inches of water. It was insane. So they're in unexpected places, unexpected areas.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much. I mean, we're in kayaks. We're moving slow anyway. So it doesn't take much I'm constantly just grabbing a different rod, taking a couple casts. You asked Derek, he probably saw it, or he definitely saw it when he was taking pictures of me on last Saturday at Champlain, or the Saturday before, whatever it was. But yeah, he made a comment to me about something about how he was surprised at how efficient I fished or something like that, because I was changing it up so often. But yeah, if we're moving slowly to begin with, I don't have a torpedo or anything, so I'm not zipping around anywhere. It doesn't take much to take a cast or two at something you're passing by. You're slowly moving by. Why skip it? You know what I mean? If you can take a cast at it.
That only takes one cast to catch a fish, right?
Yep.
Or a follow-up, depending. Hopefully not.
Yep. Yeah, it took me, I caught that 20 and a half. The first cast, I caught a dink. You know what I mean? Most people probably wouldn't have cast back in. You know what I mean?
Even your finesse setups, they're not really true finesse. They're power finesse.
They are heavy, medium heavy, 7 foot medium heavy, spinning rods, 15-pound test, so it's, I don't do a whole lot. I got one finesse rod. It's an old, God, I love this rod too. I've probably talked about it before. I bought it used off somebody in a bass club I was in 2005. So it was older than that. It's older than that. I don't know when it came out, but it's a St. Croix. It's not Legend. The Legend is the new ones, right? Maybe it's a Legend. I can't remember. Anyway, it's an old St. Croix 6.6. Like medium light. That rod that's my only finesse rod, but I still have 15-pound test line on it.
What do you throw on that?
Neds, stuff like that. Senkos, whatever. But I love that rod. I can't even remember. It's so faded. I can't even remember what the name of it is.
So, being the power fisherman you are, what is your favorite type of body of water fish? Like water clarity, structure, grass? Hit me with it.
Yeah, I like dirtier water. Weedy. Dirty, weedy, grass, docks, wood, whatever. If I could never fish clear, deep water again, I wouldn't. You know what I mean? It's something I would always try to avoid. I'm getting better at it now, so. But yeah, I like that. I like that typical kind of South Shore Massachusetts stuff. The dirty, muddy, nasty water that a lot of people wouldn't think that you could pull giants out of. So.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. Just shooting the shit. You usually typically throw into stuff that people don't think there's fish. Even like a foot of water and it's all matted, you'll huck whatever you want into it and probably pull out an 18 incher with 10 minutes left in the tournament.
Yeah, they get under that stuff. They're, I think, I don't know if there's any truth to this, but I think somebody told me once that, I don't know if it was somebody told me or I read it or something, but a bass only need or a 5-pound bass, something like that, only needs 6 inches of water, to move around in. You know what I mean? And just be comfortable swimming around. So yeah, you should throw up in the just some gross stuff, and a lot of times you'll pull a big fish out of it.
It's and that's the type of stuff that a typical angler will just jump over.
Yeah, right.
Which is, you cover so much water, man. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Watching
the viewers is like gives me a complex.
Why is
See
that?
it go up like 12, and then it's like 8, 7, and you're like, man, why are they leaving? Am I boring?
I mean, I'm pretty boring. I don't know. Sometimes it'll spike. Sometimes it'll drop. I'm not expecting everybody to hang out for 40 minutes just listening to us talk about fishing.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm trying not to cuss. Makes me feel a little.
Go for it. I mean, this is.
I don't want to lose my Christian sponsors and fans.
Amen, brethren.
Yeah. No, just kidding. Anyway.
All right. So you've been traveling a lot for some years now. Are you getting burnt out at all?
No, I don't think so. This year it's been tough for me. I've had some, obviously, I don't know if we ever talked about it, but down in Pickwick, I went down with Nate and Joe, and Nate and Joe wanted to fish a spot that I didn't want to fish, and I didn't. Obviously, Nate did well. He placed third. I think Joe placed 9th or 8th or something that first day. I didn't play nice, and I wasn't very happy about it. But I mean, I think I could have handled that better. And I think that comes down to just dealing with that crap at home. It's like I'm every time I go somewhere, I get a phone call. But just in general, this year's been weird. It's like we're not traveling. I don't know if it's because of COVID and all the stuff that happened last year, but we're not traveling as a group like we used to. So it's a little different. So I'm not really burnt out, but it's not the same this year. I mean, I'm having a great time. Besides those couple of times where it's like I just again, my mental state is a little off this year, but
it's definitely bizarre the way KBF took away regions. So now it's like, I feel like the KBF season's almost done with for places that we can travel to. It's nuts. What do we have? We have what? What's the next KBF? East-West
Harbor, yeah.
Yep. Then, I can't make it. So that's gone for me. And then what? Kentucky Lake in September.
Lake. Yep. I think that's it. Yeah. I mean, I got August is Clear Lake, but I was thinking about doing that. Flying out, bringing just a handful of rods, flying out just for the fun of it. But now I'm not. I think I'm doing the. I'm going to do the KFL. Right? Is that what? Is that the same weekend? 21st.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, by the way.
So,
bachelor party, right?
Yeah, it's all good, man. Yeah, I'm having my bachelor party on the 21st. It's all good.
I bailed.
Yeah. So now we have the KFL thing coming around, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about it. I have my first matchup with you guys on off the bench finally for Saturday. I really think this KFL thing can take off. Like, I'm excited to tell people that they have the possibility of watching me and actually watching my team fish on TV.
Yeah, hopefully we have some good signals down there. I don't know what the signal situation is, but yeah, it's definitely it's cool. I mean, it is the future. I mean, last year Scott Butcher with the 5 Live thing, he showed that it could work. I mean, the downside is that we just don't have the anglers don't have the technology. We're working off our phones, and it's like if you got a bad cell signal somewhere, the video's crap. You keep getting disconnected. I mean, the last time I tried to do it for the KBBT match, and I had a good signal, but I kept dropping from the feed. Down at the danger zone, right? Kept dropping, it was weird. I didn't say.
No, yeah, just don't even bring that place up.
All right. Yeah, I wasn't there. I was somewhere else. But anyway, yeah, I kept dropping the feed. So, that is the downside of it. And then, there are some anglers that they don't have 2 phones, so they got to use the same phone to upload their fish. Um, I have a second phone but I can't get it to connect to my hotspot. I did for the Five Live thing, but it's not working now for this one. So I don't know. But that is if somebody comes along and can supply, maybe the captains of each team with some good equipment. This thing could take off. I know Scott posted in the Five Live chat earlier this year some pictures of some equipment. So I thought he was going to do that again, but he didn't do it. That hasn't happened. But
that's a shame.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, if it's Kayak Fishing League that goes on and do it, I mean, there's going to be others that come along as well. I mean, look at Hobie. They had a boat out there taking photos of everybody. Well, they do it every tournament. I have a boat going around taking photos. Eventually, that'll probably turn into video. Where they're actually cameramen on boats. So it's cool. It's exciting. It's a big difference from just a few years ago.
Absolutely. It's only the future. It's a matter of time before kayak fishing is an actual major event. Just like bass boats, it's right around the corner. Ike's definitely, helping out for sure. Any participation whatsoever. I mean, his videos were awesome. I enjoyed watching it because he was just as excited to be in a kayak as he was on a big boat.
Yeah, I mean, he
me
comes
jacked
across.
up.
Yeah, he comes across really genuine about it. You know what I mean? Obviously that kayak that's on the top of his truck, that's there for advertisement. You know what I mean? But he fished. You watch that video, man, and I mean he's doing it like everybody else. He's you can see him looking around, making sure nobody's watching him catch these fish. All the other anglers near him and stuff. And I mean his netting skills were garbage. You see when the last fish he caught where the net was upside down and it collapsed on. But yeah, I mean the guy's a maniac, but he's busy and everything, but who knows? He won't be the last. I mean, he wasn't even the first. So
no, but people like him are the people that the sponsors see doing
right,
and then they look at the tournament trail series and then that's when they start investing and then it gets bigger and bigger. So it's a really cool place to be right now.
Yeah, absolutely, especially for the young guys. If you're in your 20s, I mean, God, they got a lot of stuff to look forward to. Yeah,
which is, I wish I was a little bit younger when I started. I mean, I'm young, I'm 29, but now I got a family. I mean, props to Sarah for letting you do what you do.
It's pretty awesome. I've traveled so many places this year. I've been to Florida, South Carolina, Alabama, Connecticut, Maine, New York. Where else? Going to Ohio. Going to go back to New York, Pennsylvania. I've been to Pennsylvania already. Going back to Pennsylvania. Going to go back to it's
Tennessee.
It's
yeah.
And then we're going to be down in Louisiana, Texas for the national championship. Maybe Kentucky. It's crazy.
Yeah, so. You are definitely blessed to have such a forgiving woman. I don't know how I'm going to do it.
Don't get yourself in trouble, buddy.
No, I know. It's only going to get it's only going to get harder, right? I'm gonna drop a bomb right now. I have another one on the way.
Really?
Yeah. So I just effed myself.
Man, when?
I should be popping out sometime in February.
Well, hell, man, congrats.
It is. I'm very excited.
It's good though. You got 2 back-to-back almost.
That was the plan. Wanted to get 2 out and done. I mean, yeah, Mike said, "Sorry for my gain." Thanks, Mike. I'm sorry too. But yeah, I don't. Lauren, she's not Sarah, so I'm gonna have to put my ducks in a row and figure out which ones I can.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. I mean, I wish. Yeah, I mean, Sarah she knows it makes me happy and I love it. So she's like, go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? And I know like my aunt is like, is it my aunt? Somebody says like, I can't believe that Sarah lets you do that all the time. I would never let my husband do it. It's like, well, why?
My mother's like that. She's like, I don't know how she's letting you do that. I'm like,
like,
Mom, that's why you're divorced.
Right. You know, I don't know. Maybe they don't have something to do that they love to do like that. I don't know, but maybe they should find it. You know what I mean? You know, figure something out that
Yeah,
they
no,
love to
the
do as well.
kids.
Huh?
Now it's the kids. That's
Yeah, well, yeah, see, I mean, Sarah really wanted kids too, so maybe that's it. You know, go to the park.
I love going to the park, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna be doing that instead of fishing.
Yeah, next year is gonna be different for you. So, but it'll be
Well,
cool, man.
here's the thing.
It's great to have two kids that are really close together in age.
So the deal was where we ordered a camper. So I'm gonna be pulling her and the kids around to as many of these things as I could do, so we can do it as a family. I think that's how I'm gonna get away with it.
Nice. That'll work out.
Also, we could pull the camper to wherever which they're not going to and have cheap stay because it's a pretty badass camper. So
Oh, did you already buy it?
yeah, it's on order. We're getting it at the beginning of August. So
Brand new?
hopefully, brand new. Hopefully, be trucking down with it to Kentucky or
Where are you
Kentucky
gonna
Lake.
put the-
Kentucky Lake.
Is it a trailer type? You gonna be pulling it?
Yeah, I'm gonna be pulling it.
Where is the kayak gonna go?
I could put one on a roof, and then I could get a rack for the trailer hitch or back of the camper, or I don't know, figuring that out. But I could definitely put at least one on the top of my truck because I got racks for it. So
Nice. Well, congrats.
thanks, dude.
We'll see you in 2023.
Yeah, don't talk like that. So, perusing social networking this week, I saw that there was another cheater caught, which is crazy that people still do it because they're gonna get caught eventually. What cheater doesn't?
Yeah.
With being a tournament director and having experience with cheaters, what do you think, or how do you think the cheater should be punished?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man, because I mean, I know we got the internet around here now and stuff, so people tend to not forget as easily, but at the same time, it's going to get to a point where it doesn't matter. You know, some trail's going to come along. I mean, look at the guy that we caught. He's moving all around. He's trying to get into every trail, you know, New Hampshire. He's trying to get up there. He went down. I mean, he's getting caught, you know. I mean, he went down to fish the Hobie event somewhere in South Carolina. Somebody ratted him out, and they you know, basically told him he couldn't fish the event the Friday before. He's tried any bass, and so I don't know. I mean, the guy that got caught, I'd heard that he got caught cheating years ago. But you know, if you look it up, there's no info out there. You know, so even though I don't know what you can do to him. You know, if you could try to pursue some sort of legal action, but I mean, we didn't even go down that road because a lot of times, you know, they're not going to prosecute. It's not worth it in the end, you know? So I have no idea. I wish there were laws where they would actually get fined or something like that, but that stuff doesn't really exist. You know, I mean, if they cheated in a big event, but you know, if they're cheating for $500 and a trophy, what are you going to do?
Well, I like that the cheater that you had to deal with is basically, you know, blackballed from everything. Like the word of mouth, like every once in a while I hear you talk about, hey, this such and such trail reached out to me asking about this clown.
Yeah.
And what'd you tell him? Yeah, I said he fucking cheated. Yeah,
it's tough. And I mean, then you're like, you know, how many people are going to tell this guy he can't fish with them? When's he going to come after me? You know what I mean? Because he was down. If I went and looked at his videos when he was down there in I think it was South Carolina. It was way down there fishing that Hobie event. He was doing really good. He was down there for like a week, and AJ called me like that Friday, right before the event, and asked me about it, and they booted him. You know. So it sucks. It definitely sucks. But I mean, again, at some point, there's gonna be a trail with people who don't know, and he'll fish it. You know.
Hopefully they don't cheat again. But ultimately, I think what happened to him. If you get caught cheating, you're ultimately banned, not just from a local trail that any trail that you move onto, that they're going to find out what you did. So it's to make it not even worth it.
Yeah, and I mean, even if they don't, I mean, most people cheat. That's just what they do. It doesn't matter. It's a compulsion. It's I don't know what it is, insecurity, mental issue, some sort, but it's a compulsion, and they'll do it no matter what. It's part of their character. So I think you saw that happen with what happened this time. Like I'd heard about it, and I'd brought it up. And I was told that that didn't happen. So somebody was convinced that it didn't happen. But I guess it did.
What was the latest cheating bid? I didn't hear about anything. I stay off social networking.
I don't know what happened. I mean, you can't put out too much info, because what I learned is if you put out too much and you say too much, then that person can use that against you. Libel, defamation, that sort of thing. They could take you to court. So you just basically put out there that so-and-so was caught cheating, and then you keep it vague. So I don't know. The first thing was the person was fishing beyond some buoys, near a dam, which is obviously anybody knows that you can't fish beyond the buoys anywhere, So that was the original thing, and then they were DQ'd, and then they were basically more info came out somewhere, and they were DQ'd permanently. So I don't know any more details than that, but they did the right thing. Some people say they didn't do it quick enough, but again, time goes by, and I guess the first incident happened years ago. So enough time goes by, and people either don't know about it, or they believe something else, or they're convinced that something else happened. I don't know if there are enough details to say anything about it, but hopefully they did the right thing. Even if maybe you could argue it was too late, who knows? But they did the right thing now, and you move on. I mean, it's going to happen. It happens all the time. It's there are cheating incidents that have happened at other events that we don't even know about. You know what I mean? That I've heard about, but the majority of people don't know about. It's just something that happens all the time.
It's always at least one big one that gets out.
Right. Yeah, of course. The big ones get out,
Flexgate.
Sucks. It's a part of the sport, especially when there's so many aspects of it where there's no eyes on you whatsoever. The online events, where you can go fish wherever you want, you know what I mean? And or fish not even necessarily wherever you want, because they do have the GPS stuff. People could spoof that. But you could fish whatever you want, I mean, I've been to places where guys are in canoes. There's a place around the corner. You've been there, obviously. Guys in canoes fishing with shiners, pulling out 4-pounders left and right, and I can't catch a dink, So it's always that stuff. So it's just the part of the sport, It's kind of the dark side of the sport, I guess, where it opens itself up to cheating a lot more than other sports.
But fortunately, it's few and far between.
Of course.
And collectively, as a whole, the kayak community shuns it, obviously.
Yeah. And I mean, there's so many guys that go out there and just crush it anyway. Like, I mean, look at Conan. He put up 100-something inches.
102 inches.
Yeah. No, that was, 100.75 or something for the weekend event, Freedom to Fish.
Freedom to Fish, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's not out there throwing shiners. You know what I mean? So if you are throwing shiners, you're going to have a hell of a hard time beating that. You know what I mean? So
I'm going to have to check Matt's cooler.
Yeah.
No, just kidding, Matt.
How about they use coolers? God damn. Can't trust those new guys.
Why do you think I got a cooler too? Why?
Oh, yeah? Thought it was for sandwiches.
Sandwiches and shiners. Shiner sandwiches.
Nice. Delicious. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't leave a, too much of a black mark on them, because I think that could be cool. The KFL KBBT thing.
Yeah, no, I think there's always a cheater in every kayak trail you deal with. So I mean, like I said, collectively as a whole, the community shuns it, and they definitely talk a whole bunch of shit about that or the cheaters,
Some of
whatever.
them, some of them, if it's a big enough cheater, they seem to support him. You know, if you're only bending a board, you know what I mean. Nobody seems to care.
ah,
I love
yeah.
how the same guys who are criticizing how KBBT handled it are the ones who are defending the other guy. You
Oh my
know,
god.
it's awesome.
Yeah,
It's,
I'm glad we've passed that point in time.
yeah, those guys are clowns. Anyway, moving on.
The ups and downs of kayak fishing. But I mean, if you don't do stupid shit, you don't have to deal with anything. So I mean, it's easy. Just keep your hands clean. Hard.
Yeah,
Which obviously that's what you do. I mean, you got the accolades to prove it.
yeah. Cheaters will cheat. They'll get themselves caught. Even the ones that get away with it, they'll get caught again.
Eventually.
Yep. Oh well.
So Ken, what brand kayak do you fish out of?
Jackson Big Rig FD. Right now,
You've basically from the get-go of your, was it Jackson your first sit on top fishing kayak?
yeah. I went from a Pelican Getaway 140, like a 14-foot sit-in. Thing was badass. I always say it had two flush rod mounts and then a swivel mount. I fished out of that from 2007 to 2017, so 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the majority of your Massachusetts kayak bass and YouTube videos,
Yeah,
I mean, before I knew you and fished with you guys, like that was like one of the first things on my feed that popped up. It's almost all in that Pelican.
are the earliest ones out there in the Pelican? Maybe
A lot of them. I don't
Yeah.
remember seeing many in your big rig.
there's some. Yeah, are they in the Pelican? Yeah, they are in the Pelican. That's right. Because so I started that channel in 2015, I think. I don't know. I can't remember. I think 2015. So yeah, got a couple of years worth. But yeah, that was a great kayak. I wish I could find another one. It was stable. The seat was a hard plastic molded seat, and I mean, I was so comfortable. I'd sit in that thing for 13 hours. It just didn't have. It's not a tournament kayak. You know what I mean? For what we do now, I could go out and compete in it, but I wouldn't win as much or do as well because I added 2 rod holders to it. And at that point I got 5 rods, and there's no room for anything. That I had a tackle box, like a Plano box that I would stuff down between my legs. Measuring fish was a nightmare.
You always had the rag hanging out of that front pocket thing.
Yeah, because it was because of the rods. It kept the rods. If I put the rods between my lap, it kept them from banging on the damn boat, but from sliding all over the place. So it kept them, from moving around. It was terrible. It was terrible, but it served me well for a long time. And then I went straight from that to the big rig. I bought the original big rig. Didn't demo it. I lucked out. I didn't demo it at all. I just looked it up online. I said, man, I want a big kayak, big fishing platform. And, at that point I was had put on some weight. So I wanted something that could hold my fat ass. And it worked out. It was the perfect kayak for me. I'm sure if I'd gotten like a Titan, or I don't even know if they were around then, but something else I would have been fine with it. But, the big rig was it's been great. The one I deviated from that a little bit that year. I did the Kusa. Obviously I flipped it. First time I ever flipped a kayak. So a little too tippy for me compared to coming off the big rig. So I didn't like it as much. But it's still super stable, even though I tipped it. There were circumstances there that were different. It didn't just flip, but it was way tippier than the big rig. So went back to the big rig FD. If I'd known they were coming out with a big rig FD, I wouldn't have bought the Kusa. I would have stuck with the regular big rig for a year. So I don't know. And then this year I got a Bite FD. That's up in Maine. So I won't use that.
How stable is that?
It's pretty stable. I mean, it's definitely not as stable, but you could stand up in it and it moves. I mean, it's light, 72 pounds, I think.
With or without the pedal drive?
Probably without. But I mean, the pedal drive is 10 pounds. Yeah. So I mean, but yeah, I mean, it moves good. So I left it up there with Sarah and the kids and everything like that, and I'll just use it when I go up. But I'll probably get another one for me next year. And then I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what else. I know Jackson's got some new kayaks coming out, so we'll see what those are. And I don't know. Maybe I'll switch. I don't know. We'll see.
That's one thing that's cool about Jackson is they're always coming with some new product or new boat or making boats better. That's definitely awesome. I'm looking forward to their new kayaks. Not that I'm going to be fishing out of one, but I just like kayaks in general. Yeah,
they're a great company. I mean, they do a lot of good things. I know that a lot of people have had some issues with the drives, but my drives have been they've worked out great. I wish the motor was a little faster. But I mean, God, I had it out in the big rig when I was up in Maine last week, and I went out with basically no gear, just a couple rods. And I mean, it was moving. So I didn't have my fish finder, you know what I mean? So I was probably doing 4 miles per hour, which seemed like I was doing 100, compared to what it usually is, which is around 3.5. So yeah, but I mean, other than that, I got no complaints at all about any of their kayaks. So
how do you feel about Hobies?
I can't say.
I'm just kidding. We don't even have to get into it. I know how you feel about it.
No, I just make fun. I make jokes to irritate my friends.
Yeah, everybody.
So yeah. No, I wish. I mean, I love how they go through the grass. I wish I could do that. Any of the prop driven kayaks, they're not going through the grass like that. I wish there was a way that our kayaks, any of them, any of the prop driven kayaks could go through the grass. I mean, unless you got one of the trolling motors, the bow mounts or whatever, but the pedal drives and stuff, you're not getting through that stuff.
Not a chance.
But yeah, it's a unique design, the little flippers.
It is, but I mean, it's mechanically. No, I don't know if it's over-engineered, but there's a lot of parts and pieces on those things.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I mean, I've seen too many people have issues where it's you. Obviously, we all make jokes. I make jokes. I'm not a guy that's good with tools. So that's something I don't want to touch it ever. It would just irritate me. I don't have the patience for that sort of thing.
Where do you see the future of kayaks going now? Like, started with everybody's pedaling, right? They're pedaling. They got anchors, and next thing you know, pedal drives are coming out, right? You get the Hobies, and then you got any prop driven one, the Helix drive, the FDs, Jacksons, and then next thing you know, everybody's got Torpedoes. Torpedoes are on everybody's boats. Everybody's flying through. The Torpedoes are happening. The motor guides come along. Everybody. You go any tournament now, everybody's got a big ass motor mounted, myself included, a motor mounted right on the front of their kayak with spot lock and what's next? What do you think's next?
I don't know. It's it's weird because most of us anyway, the older guys who were part of MAKB in the beginning, when we were in sit-ins, we were all like, yeah, we don't need pedals, screw that, and then. Would it take a year? A year later, we're all in pedals. We all got pedal drives. And then, the same thing. We're like, screw the motors. We don't need a freaking motor. We're in kayaks. And then next year goes by and we're all in getting motors, and now other guys are getting the bow mounts and all that. So I don't know, man. It's weird. It's almost like we're evolving into bass boats, It's a strange thing, but it's like that's what they're becoming. They're becoming mini boats, and I mean, I think they're from my standpoint, they're better than John boats. You know, like I would rather fish out of a big kayak than a John boat. You know, they move better. I don't know, for a single person, I think the kayak is superior there. But I mean, again, we're not that far away from John boats. You know what I mean? If if there was an evolutionary line, you know what I mean? We've just gone back in time, and we're going to evolve into John boats and then bass boats. You know, so it's I don't know where it stops. You know.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot to be a John boat. I mean, look at
obviously we're not going to evolve into John boats, but I mean when the kayaks are getting bigger, you know, I mean they're already as long as John boats. I mean, so how wide is a John boat? My kayak is, I think it's 37 inches. How wide is yours? The Willie?
No, yours is like 40. Mine's 30, 39 and a quarter or something.
So, yeah, I mean that's wide. Those are big kayaks. You know, so they're mini boats. They're almost not even kayaks right now.
Yeah, it's hard to justify them being kayaks.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's just how it goes. You know what? I mean, whatever you want to call them. You know, I would hate to see it get to a point where it's like we are fishing out of basically little mini bass boats. You know, where we're zipping around the lakes, we're doing 20 miles per hour. These motors that we got small outboards on the back. I mean, that would be a little ridiculous, but I would not be surprised if that's where it goes.
I mean, look at that newer Torpedo.
Some boats
7+ miles per hour. I mean, which is crazy. That's fast in a kayak. It's dangerous. It can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing.
When I fished at the 10 Invitational, you know, I moved my kayak down. We launched in where the ramp was. It's like this little channel, and I put my kayak down at the end of the channel. That's where I launched it, and I knew I was going to try to beat some people to a spot, but I had no idea how fast those new Torpedos were. I went like 3 feet. I mean, and it's, you know, we're talking a good 100 yards or so where the ramp is, where everybody else was to where I was, and I mean, I went like a foot before Russ Snyder's and was it Ryan Havlicek? Is it Ryan? Ryan, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Before they were like, get out of the way! They were like, and I mean, they were right past. I was like, holy crap! And I knew they were going right to my spot. But that was way faster than I expected. So those new Torpedos, they fly. compared to me, you know, like I mean, no joke, I'd gone like a foot. I think I didn't even need my little advantage that I thought I had was not an advantage at all. Launching or putting my kayak up that far, it was stupid. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I've learned to not say I won't do something since I'm now in a kayak with pedals and a motor. And I said I'd never do that.
And a nice big graph and.
Oh yeah, now I'll get one of those fancy cameras that everybody has.
Listen, it's not a camera. Live scope. I'm not going to get into it, but that's where, you know, the technology is progressing. You always want to be, you know, one step ahead of everybody. So you want to, you know, when the next best thing's coming out, you want to already have, you know, information and knowledge about it. And then it comes out, and then you want to get it immediately, just so you have that advantage. It is an advantage. I'll tell you that. It's definitely
absolutely
an advantage.
I mean, I was talking to Russell Johnson today or yesterday or whatever, and he had, you know, because where he fished at Champlain was where I wanted to fish. And I mean, he said if he didn't have, I forget what he has, live scope or whatever, he's like, I wouldn't have caught any fish, you know? So it's definitely something. But I mean, again, I can make all the jokes I want, but if I'm going to try to compete against you guys, I have to get one.
Yeah, you know? It's crazy, but this is funny. This is all you, Ken.
Oh yeah, right. I know.
That was interesting.
Listen. You will have some guys out on kayaks with those next year, guaranteed. Guaranteed.
If they haven't already ordered it.
Right. Yeah. You will have guys out there with those sitting on their kayaks next year. Because I had no idea what the hell that was. You know, until this year when they started doing it on where were they? They were up at
St. Lawrence.
St. Lawrence. Yeah. I had no idea, man. So, and I guarantee I'm not the only one that didn't know what the hell that was.
It was bizarre. I mean, I had seen one previously in a YouTube video, but it was only once, and then I started watching that, and it's like everybody has one. It's like, what the hell? Holy shit! Like that now it's a thing. Like now everybody's doing it.
Yeah, I could stick it right. I mean, you could make one that's small enough to just right where I lift that where the prop pops up through on the bottom of the.
I would love to see you stick your face down there. It looks like you're going to be sucking your own dick.
No, I would. I can't bend that far. Jeez,
that's how far, dude. Dude, it's right there. It's like
yeah, but yeah, I'd have a longer scope or whatever. I'll just get a tube. I'll just get a tube.
Oh man.
No, but I mean, it's definitely. I can guarantee you somebody will do that.
Probably.
Multiple people.
For me, I don't places that necessarily need that. If I did, I'd probably absolutely have one already ordered. But I mean, once again, that's staying ahead, just frigging things out. Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable with Panoptics, man. I was able to see literally a giant school of perch, and 20 feet in front of that was almost 6-pounder. I didn't know it was almost 6 pounds, but I saw a large mark chasing these perch. And I was able to fire out at it, and that bait's diving 20 feet, 5, 10, 15, 20. And as it's falling, I'm seeing the fish come in faster. I'm seeing it then bink, and then next thing you know, I'm hooked up. So it's an absolute advantage, but it doesn't always work out to your advantage. I mean, it has its time and place.
It's
just
like
a
tool. My thing, I guess my main, I don't even know if it's not even a complaint really. It's just that when you're watching these videos on YouTube of like that Ben Milliken guy and they're down in Texas and they breaking records, it's like, Jesus, man, it's like, it's just easy. It just makes, for them, you're watching them. And I mean, he's literally watching it on the screen. He's seeing it. He's casting to it. He's talking about it. My bait's going right in front of its face, right in front of, got it, and it's a 16-pounder. It's like, I'm not impressed.
But here's the thing. You have to be able to find these places that hold these 16-pounders. He's not fishing in a small body of water, so he's asked to use his knowledge that he's learned previously, or somebody knows a spot.
That dude just moved to Texas.
So
he caught that fish because of that piece of equipment. That's
right. But
that's the only reason.
Find the fish first. If you don't know where the fish are, that Panoptics is going to be looking at nothing. So you have to use your, intuition on these spots, and then you can go to all your spots, and there's no fish that day.
Yeah, I don't know.
You'll learn. You'll learn.
I'll get one, but I'm just saying, it's like when you're breaking records left and right. God, they broke the small. So that was the lake record set, I think, for largemouth since like '99. So like 20 years, something like that. And then it was like the 16th biggest bass in Texas history. Is that it? Can't remember.
I don't remember.
Anyways, it was something crazy like that. And then they went back like the next day and they broke the Smalley record. That's stupid. That was because of that.
I think that's crazy luck, honestly.
Is it luck?
You just don't happen upon fish. You have to be able to find the fish with your Panoptics. It's not so. It's like, here's the thing: when you're looking your Panoptics, unless you have it in perspective mode, which is a spray of things, but it's like the Humminbird 360, but in a smaller area. Your cone angle isn't that big, so you literally have to pinpoint on where they're going to be. So it's not just like, oh, there's going to be fish here. Yep, there's fish here. Cast, catch.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, obviously, I'm ignorant on it right now. I mean, I don't have one, so I don't know exactly what I'm talking about. So, kind of just talking out of my ass a little bit. But I mean, I do still think that when records fall like that, then that is a huge advantage and a huge tool to make that happen. Which I guess the reason why I say I'm not impressed is because I'd rather see somebody doing it, I don't know, a little bit more old school way, with
I mean,
Yeah. Hey, listen. I will fully admit.
here's the old school way, right? Old school way is casting up shallow or chasing bait fish around.
No, it's
with your
reading the
graph.
conditions. It's all kinds of things. There's some the intuition there. There's some, but when you just have something like that, a piece of equipment that shows you exactly. You saw it. Where was it? The Elite Series last year. That one guy. There was a ton of guys fishing a jerkbait around wood. That standing timber, and you had that one guy. I forget his name. Walker. Walker, I think is his last name. And he was just aiming that thing at every tree, going, nope, 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 nope. There's some fish. Boom, cast right to. So the other guys had to go every tree. This dude had to just pick the one tree that had a fish. So that's a huge advantage. Where the other guys,
you're taking away the skill that it takes to quickly read the information on that graph. When you're pointing at a tree, there's a lot going on in that tree, and it's literally not like a picture of a tree. Like say a 5-year-old drew a tree and put a bunch of dots. It's not. You have to understand the information on that. Whether there could be panfish on it, or or there might be something that looks like a fish that you could take a risk. But remember, your cone width is only so big, so you can only see.
No, I get it. Like I said, we'll see. I mean, I am fully aware that my opinion might change. And again, I'm talking about stuff that I'm not an expert on. So, who knows? We'll see. But
I say
I'll be getting one.
One of the good. I hope you do, and I'm not going to help you with it. You're gonna learn the hard way. Just like the first time I used mine was Lake Murray, and I thought I was gonna fucking blow everybody out of the water because I had Panoptics. Little did I know, I would just find submerged trees, right, and then I'd pull striper and white bass off it, or white perch, whatever they were, and I'm like, oh, this tree's loaded with fish, and I'd spend 3.5 hours there wasting all my time. I mean,
should have fished on my side.
I only went to the place that I fished because I found these phenomenally small trees that I had caught, like a couple of teens and mainly dinks off of it. But look at on your side, the people fishing it who did catch fish, like Mr. Matt Conan, he killed it with structure. He killed it fish. He caught fish roaming but moving up.
Yeah.
Like on humps and stuff like that. I think one of the main advantages of live scope is if you are fishing a deeper fishery that has a lot of bait fish, you can find the bait fish, watch them move, and then see if there's fish around it. But not saying that the fish will bite, because a lot of times they don't, because they're eating bait fish. But
of course, I see Nate in here saying they don't catch the fish for you, and I get that. I totally get that. But it does make it a bit easier. Can't say it doesn't. When people are breaking records like they do, that absolutely makes it easier. There's no denying that.
No, it makes it easier.
So,
but just remember, they had to locate a spot or locate fish, and then entice those fish to bite. Which they were there at the right place, right time, conditions were right, to where the fish would eat whatever's in front of them or whatever's going by them, and they were able.
But it's easier. I mean, even enticing the fish to bite. I mean, it's like bed fishing. You could toss into a bed 1,000,000 times, and the fish ignores everything, and then you do something. You throw one thing in that, and all of a sudden you see it change. Like I did that at Candlewood. I was flipping into this one. I was thinking it was like a 17.5-inch smallie, and it just kept swimming away. And I took my jerkbait and I just swam it, little perch colored jerkbait, and I swam it over that bed, and I let it sit there. And that freaking bass turned. He didn't hit the jerkbait, but that thing turned, and immediately you could see it, gills flared and all that stuff. I pulled that jerkbait out and flipped back in there and with the little Ned craw, and I mean that thing annihilated it. And I'd been throwing the craw the whole time, but I was able to trigger that bass and see that bass changed its demeanor, and that's this kind of the same concept with the live scope type
you're
stuff.
fishing because a manhole size area, and then
but still you can see if they react or they don't react to what you're throwing at them.
Or your sea fish, or predator fish, bass. They are in your live scope. You can see it on your graph, and then they're gone because you're literally you're fishing 30 to 50 feet of water. And your cone is only so big. So if they go 5 feet or 10 feet to your left, 10 feet to your right, they're gone. You do have no idea what the hell they're doing. So being able to cast the bait out and the fish is hanging out there while there's a pot of fish above it or next to it it's because they're constantly moving.
Yeah.
So it's a tool, and it's not as easy as most people think.
No, I don't think it's easy, but I definitely, I mean, I'm going on based on what I've seen online. And, when I see a guy go, here it comes, it's coming, and he pulls out a giant. I mean, it's not hard to make a conclusion that is a very, very helpful tool.
Right. But you're also watching clips on YouTube that these guys did they fish for, a weekend straight.
Internet. It's on the internet. It's true. It's real.
You're right. Absolutely.
Real. Now we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. We'll come back to this after I have one.
I'm looking forward to get one.
Crushed the Massachusetts state record largemouth.
Ken, you don't look at your graph for more than 5 or the total of the accumulative time that you look at your graph while fishing tournaments is like 20 minutes.
We'll see. We'll see, man. 15-pounder coming up. What is it? 15.75. What's the state record?
I don't know.
I'll just catch a 16. It's 15 something.
That 615 I caught, I did not see on the Panoptics.
That 9 I caught. I didn't either.
Yeah.
Whatever that was.
Ken, man, coming up almost an hour and a half. It's been easy. Time flies when you're having fun. But we're going to end it because I got to get back to my old lady. She's pregnant and probably hungry for some weird object. A lot of guys.
Yeah, I haven't been reading any of this stuff.
I've been trying to. I've been talking to you.
Yeah. Nate says a lot of guys have lives but haven't seen a new record yet.
Yeah.
They're not me.
Oh, man. Yeah. So, Ken, tell us where we can find you and shout out whoever you want to thank.
Find me. God, I don't know. I'm on Instagram. What's it? MA Kayak Bassin. I don't really post a whole lot there. Just random stuff. Facebook, I think my Facebook thing is that guy Kenwood. That's about all I got, right? Massachusetts Kayak Bassin. That's the other group. Check that out. And then, I don't know, we'll be on this weekend. We'll be on doing the KFL match. Me, you, Mike. It's Mike and Derek? Yeah.
Mike and Derek, yep.
Derek Brundle.
Taking our revenge on the PA Bronzebacks.
Yeah, that'll be nice. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. That's a good fishery, though, so they'll catch fish. But, yeah, that'll be on Facebook Live on the KFL page. And then what's it? The Pride Outdoor Network. 11 to 1. Is that it? 11 p.m. to 1 or 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
11 to 1.
Live on that. Yeah, have you? I haven't. Yeah, I haven't checked it out. Yeah, is that on? That's live on Roku, right? They got a channel, so you can put the channel on your Roku. You download it, and then Amazon Fire Stick.
I believe you download the app.
Yeah. You can do that, and then or you can just watch it. I know they have it on the Facebook page as well, that live stream. So anyway, so it'll be good. So we'll be live streaming. Hopefully all of us can and make it a good match,
Is there cursing allowed? Probably not, right?
You're not supposed to. It's really tough. I mean, I have a hard time. God, like every other word that wants to come out of my mouth is a bad word. Same. I'm trying not to cuss on your show here. It's bad for sponsors and all that stuff, especially when if it's a bigger event, which is the KFL is a little bit bigger in that regard. Yes, we're not supposed to cuss. So
okay, I'll try to keep it at a bare minimum. I mean,
you cuss a lot. I've heard. Yeah, Stormy was complaining about it when you were doing your Instagram things. He's like, man, it's great. It's great content. We'd love to use it, but the dude cusses too much. I was like, I'll talk to him, and then I forgot to. So.
Until now,
don't cuss on your Instagram live feeds.
I'll try to
So,
keep
but
it
I mean,
down.
I get it. You know, sponsors don't. I mean, we're from up here. We all cuss, so it's not a big deal. You know, we don't even think about it. And God, I mean, when I went to England, you want to talk about cussing? They're even worse over in England.
Yeah, you can't even
You know,
understand them.
Dude, the C word over there, they use that for so many different things. You add an ed, like somebody, like, I'm not going to say it, but you add an ed to the end of that word, and that means getting drunk. Like, they got a lot. They are very creative with that word, but yeah. So
There's no bass over there. I don't care.
this being New England, we got potty mouths, and so for us, it's not a big deal, but for other people, it is. So I get it. So I try, but it's really hard. It throws me off. It really throws off the way I want to talk and the jokes I want to make because. So yeah, so I'm terrible at podcasts and all that. Usually,
you've done a stand-up job today, Ken. How about your sponsors? I know you got some sponsors.
Yeah,
Like to thank.
Three Bells. We've already talked about them. They're awesome. If you like coffee, they got 3 new flavors of Three Bells Outfitters coffee available. It's a little different. Might think it's weird, but if you actually think about it, we go to all these events, and all you guys, or maybe not you, but I know Joe, Daddy-O, he drinks the hell out of that coffee. So, I'm sure a lot of other anglers do. You do, right?
Yeah.
Drink coffee? Yeah, there you go. So they got a new coffee line out if you're into that thing. But yeah, beyond that, Jackson Kayak, I'm on their team, and obviously we've talked about them and their kayaks being awesome. So I think that's it. Dakota Lithium, always doing great things for us.
Honestly,
I don't have any sponsors.
Can't say enough about Dakota. They literally they get us for whatever we want whenever we want. I mean,
yeah, they MAKB will have a bunch of stuff to give away to MAKB, to the anglers and everything. It's just everything's backordered still, COVID and all that stuff. So, but hopefully by the end of the season we'll have a bunch of stuff to give away.
That'd be cool. I mean, the guys are happy enough. We're not expecting much. We're happy and thankful for what you do. And Ken, I mean, thanks for coming on, man. Sorry I didn't talk about your A1 win.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot about that. Jesus.
No, I did this on purpose.
I'm surprised I didn't even think about making a joke about it. Damn it. Anyway, I won A1.
Yeah,
just to let you guys know.
Our first tournament, MAKB of the year, and he's been bugging me. He did crush it. Give it to you there. Catch your fish all over the pond, all giants, but you bugged me about it. So I wanted it. I wanted to bring it. I want it to be the last thing.
Hey, we haven't talked about it enough, so I can just keep making jokes.
Yeah. Ken, thanks, dude. Everybody, we all appreciate you. You give whoever needs a shirt right off your back, however you want to say that. I messed that up, but whatever.
I'm not giving anybody the shirt that I'm wearing because nobody wants to see that.
No.
I'll give you a shirt if I have an extra. Not the one I'm wearing.
Ken, man, love you. Looking forward to this weekend. We're gonna kick some butt. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. Thanks for everybody who commented. Go like and subscribe my pages, whether it's Facebook or YouTube. Appreciate y'all. Have a good night. Thanks, Ken.
Thanks, dude. See you.
Bye.